Here we are, the last champion of 2020. I almost thought they wouldn't make it, since normally it takes 2 to 3 weeks for a champion to go through PvE. So it will be a close one, but Rell will likely go live in late December. Now, normally when it comes to new champions, I cover their bio and then we have a look at their voice if there is something interesting happening there. But because, as I mentioned in the last video, I took a little bit of a break, I am going to do the voice first because it is faster to record. With that said, I am aware that some of you may have no idea what Rell's story is about. So, the super TLDR version is that Rell was a Noxian kid whose parents wanted her to be really successful, not in the good kind of way. And so they did everything they could for her to join the military or be successful in the political landscapes. In the end, it turned out that Rell had magical powers. She was able to manipulate metals. Unfortunately for her, LeBlanc noticed that, and so she made a deal with her parents and Rell joined the Black Rose Academy. There, the Black Rose organization did really awful things, such as ripping the magical souls of the other children and slapping them onto Rell's body to make her more powerful. The story ended with Rell having enough, and she literally ripped the entire building apart, you know, because Noxians built everything out of metal, and she's now wearing pieces of that building as her armor. She used it to construct a horse, and of course that entire story was connected to Samira, where one of the Null kids was a product of the Black Rose Academy. That's really the baseline of her story. So now, without further ado, let's have a look at Rell's voice lines, and let's talk about some of the interesting ones.
Noxus will fall, Swain, starting with you.
Now, at the beginning, Rell has a few quotes against Swain, which is interesting because Rell isn't really a criminal, and she knows that all the awful stuff was done by the Black Rose. So you may be asking, why would she hate Swain? Well, the thing is that she apparently hates everyone in Noxus, or rather the Noxian higher class, because she thinks that most people knew about the Black Rose Academy and none of them did anything about it. So now she believes that everyone in Noxus is guilty because they all just watched. At least, that's what she thinks. In reality, I am pretty sure Swain didn't even know there was a Black Rose Academy.
You're cute, Seraphine. Well, bye.
And yes, here I need to point out that Rell is into both.
Hey, Snake, I'm gonna crush your bones.
Of course, there is a voice line against Cassiopeia because Cassiopeia comes from one of the noble houses.
You know my dad, General, so you know what's about to happen.
Now here's the thing. Her father was never named in the story, but we know she was born to a Noxian foot soldier. So because Darius plays a big part in the military, if her father was at least decently well known, of course Darius would know him. But right now there are no hints who could it be specifically.
Oh, so your name's Echo. That's cool. I'm cool.
Yep, she's into both.
Bet the Rose would sure hate losing their pet bug.
Of course, Elise is a member of the Black Rose.
Hey, LeBlanc, tell my mom I'm gonna rip her head off.
And this is a quote referencing her story. There is a little bit of a plot twist, where we learn that her mother was part of the Black Rose schemes.
Alright, Rell, be cool. It's just a tall, super strong armored lady.
I'm not sure if she's afraid of Leona, you know, a person she could crush because she's covered in medals, or if this is a reference to the fact that she's into both.
You're Mordekaiser, right? All metal. I can take you.
I know Mordekaiser is the Iron Revenant now, but this might also be referencing his old title, the Master of Metal.
Samira, if you're looking for me, here I am.
And yes, we will go through this when we cover her bio, but Rell is the one who appeared in Samira's story. In fact, if you go back to Samira's bio, you may notice that Rell's name actually appeared there.
More like the boss of having his shirt off. Oh, I think you heard that.
Yep, she's into both.
All right, I'll admit you helped. I could learn to trust someone like you. Don't get comfortable. I work alone.
Now she also has a couple of these assist skill voice lines, where she's always nervous and she doesn't trust anyone. And that's because she literally grew up in the Black Rose Academy, and there she was abused every day. So of course she would have trust issues.
You should have kept better tabs on your people, General.
And this line against Darius might be referencing what I mentioned at the beginning. The fact that Rell thinks that everyone is guilty because all of Noxus just stood aside as the Black Rose was doing whatever they were doing. So maybe here she's talking about the fact that Darius should have known what was happening.
One evil spider lady down, several evil animal people to go.
And here she is either joking about the fact that League has a lot of animalistic, furry champions. But maybe she's referencing that the Black Rose, and in fact Noxus, also has a few animalistic people.
Your lizard had the right idea, General Admiral Brigadier Kled.
A clever reference to Scarl running away.
Oh, I hope this won't hurt my chances. Leona? Leona?
The previous line was a reference to the fact that she is into both.
Noxus was afraid of that guy? This might be easier than I thought.
Now, another clever reference to note here. The story hinted at the fact that LeBlanc recruited Rell into the Black Rose Academy because she needed a weapon to fight some ancient evil. And that ancient evil is most likely Mordekaiser. Maybe that's why LeBlanc focused on getting Rell in the first place. Manipulating metal would prove really powerful against Mordekaiser.
Run them all down. We're good, they're bad, and that's all you need to know.
I'm not gonna lie, that could literally sum up her story.
They'll pay for what happened to me. Noxus, the Black Rose, everyone.
And this would be the other half to summing up her story.
When steel crashes against steel, it's so loud, I almost forget.
And here she's trying to forget what they did to her in the academy.
The Rose ripped the magic out of my friends and put it into me. I hate them.
Again, as I mentioned in the TLDR version of her story, in the academy they ripped the magic out of the other kids and put it into Rell. They put it onto her body in the form of runes. But once that was done, and once she learned what was happening, Rell felt miserable because she realized she could never give that magic back.
The people who hurt me are dead. All but one. My mother.
Once again, a spoiler for the twist. It's not a big twist, but hey.
Those academy kids are still out there. I'll find them all. I'll save them.
And this is really underlying what happened in Samira's story. The null kid that appeared there is one of the kids that escaped the academy.
Excellence is measured in sacrifice. Or whatever.
This is a direct reference to her bio. Excellence is measured in sacrifice is exactly what her mother used to tell her.
For the null!
Here she also shouts for the null, in reference to the group of kids that escaped. And the name comes from the fact that the Black Rose nullified the magic in their body. That's why they are the null kids.
I'd rather break rules than people, but I can make exceptions. I'll twist Noxus until it snaps.
And these quotes just show us how mad she is at Noxus.
Bones shatter and people lie, but I can always count on iron. If I trusted people, I need even more armor. Friends just get in the way. Don't let anyone in. Never let anyone in.
And again, this is really showing us her trust issues.
The Black Rose may have done this to me, but Noxus knew.
And finally, here's a straight up confirmation of what is happening in her bio. She's mad at Noxus because Noxus knew. Again, at least that's what she thinks.
I survived the academy. My instructors didn't. Everyone who's ever stood in my way is dead or broken.
Yep, she killed them all.
They call it Pheromancy, metal magic.
And this is an awesome confirmation for the name of her magic. I don't think we have ever heard the name Pheromancy in the lore. So, write that down.
The Rose wanted me to be a weapon. Well, here I am.
Also, often in the story when she's referring to the Rose, we are not sure if she's referring to the organization or specifically to LeBlanc, because she encountered both.
Children died so I could make metal a little sharper.
And that's pretty much the reason for her depression.
These sigils are a reminder. Screw my sigils.
These sigils are the runes which I previously mentioned. And that is it for the voice lines. There were some cool ones, but it is all in reference to her bio. And that's what we will have a look at next. Honestly, her story is not the deepest, but it sets up some interesting story for the future. Specifically when it comes to the Black Rose, the leadership of Noxus, and even Mordekaiser. But we'll get to all of that in the next video. So for now, just enjoy the fact that she's into both.